going on, everybody? Welcome into the Jets Report. I'm your host, Patrick Siepman. And coming up on today's show, could the Cowboys be interested in a Breece Hall trade? I got a lot of thoughts on this, and I would be very against the Jets trading Breece Hall at this point in the offseason. But then also Aaron Glenn. He was talking about a bunch of the young players on the Jets roster. And then also at the telltale half of today's show, we do have some news and takeaways from Jets OTAs. But before we dive into it, if you guys could help us reach 6,500 subscribers here at the Jets Report, we just need 160 more of you guys to hit that subscribe button. So if you guys are new here to the channel, is your first time watching us, please help us out. Go down there and subscribe today. We are going to post a video every single day this offseason around the New York Jets. So hit that subscribe button and stay up to date on the latest around your favorite football team. All right, let's talk about it. So the Cowboys, could they be interested in a Breece Hall trade before the season? I think they would be interested, but it would make no sense from the Jets side of things to dish out Breece Hall, who should be a big focal point of this offense next season. But it was actually Mike Moratis who was writing up an article talking about the Cowboys trading for Breece Hall, and this is what he had to say. Hall adds another element to Dallas's offense with his ability to score from anywhere on the field, both as a rusher and pass catcher. Nobody in the team's backfield has that kind of ability, which makes Hall a significant upgrade. When it comes to trade compensation, Hall shouldn't cost more than a third-round pick, which would be a small price to pay for a player who could massively upgrade Dallas's offense in 2025. Now, from the Jets side of things, I would be very against trading Breece Hall. I just don't think it makes any sense. If this was a move the Jets wanted to make, they would have made it before the NFL draft, because this year in 2025, it was one of the most stacked running back draft classes we have ever seen. It could honestly go down as the best running back draft we have ever seen. So from the Jets side of things, why would they want to trade him for a third-round pick right now? And that would leave the Jets running back room pretty thin. Like, you would still have Braylon Allen. Maybe if you bank on a UDFA like Donovan Edwards, but to just get a third-round pick, I would be very much against that. Now, I will say from Dallas' side of things, yeah, it does make a ton of sense why they would want him. Breece Hall is a tremendous player. Even though he had a down year last year, I still think that was mainly because of the offensive philosophy and just overall scheme as why he wasn't as productive. But from the Cowboys' perspective, yeah, I would want Breece Hall too if I was a Cowboys fan. Now, Breece Hall has never eclipsed over 1,000 yards yet in his NFL career, but I do want to highlight that 2023 season where he was special. 223 carries on the year, just under 1,000 yards, average around 4.5 yards per carry. And even his rookie year when it was on a very limited sample size, but 80 carries, 463 yards, 5.8 yards per clip. Like, he has that home run ability. He's an elite pass catcher. Even today at OTAs, apparently made a diving catch from Justin Fields. And I would fully expect Breece Hall to have a monster year for the New York Jets. Now, am I talking like a Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley year from last year? No, probably not. But maybe it could be like how Aaron Jones for the Vikings last year had around 1,100 yards on the ground, had about 500 through the air. I could see Breece Hall having that impact. But also the biggest reason why I think Breece could have a monster year, we already know he has the talent. That hasn't changed. But what has changed is this offensive line. You're getting Olu Fashanu back at the left tackle position. You were able to draft Armand Membu to fill in that right guard spot. And then you got Vera Tucker, John Simpson, Joe Tippmann. I'm a big fan of the interior of this offensive line. But if this five-man unit, if they can build chemistry, continuity, you should see an improved run game for the New York Jets this upcoming season. And Breece Hall, he is that home run hitter. It just takes one lane. He can put his foot in the ground. He can get north and south, and he can turn a 10-yard carry into a home run play for the Jets. And, listen, I think we all look at, this Jets team as almost like a Lions, B team, because we got Tanner Engstrad, got Aaron Glenn. But I do think, specific at the running back spot, the Jets should be able to replicate what the Lions had last year. Now, I don't think Breece Hall is on the level of a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs, or Braylon Allen is not on the level of a guy like David Montgomery. But if let's just say Breece goes for, 1,000 yards and Braylon goes for 500 yards and they're able to find the end zone, maybe 20 times between the two of them this season, that would be huge. And also both these guys, Gibbs and Montgomery, great in the pass game as well. And, I do think Braylon Allen and Breece Hall, they're a perfect 1-2 punch. Like, you have Breece, the home run hitter. He's electric with the football in his hands. But then you got Braylon Allen, that thumper on short yardage situations, 3rd and 2, 4th and 1. You can just turn the ball or turn around and hand the ball off to him, and he'll be able to go pick it up. So I would expect Breece Hall to be the first second down back. Also probably, get a lot of reps at third down, but on the short yardage situations, on the goal line, it'll be a lot of Braylon Allen. I just love the combination that those two have. So I wouldn't want to break it up. I know a third-round pick, that's a nice pick to have, but I'd rather have the Jets kind of invest in this team heading into the next season. And also, if you trade away Breece Hall, it's only going to make Fields' life a whole lot harder. So I would be typing my P's for passes here, but you guys let me know. Would you trade Breece Hall? Give me a T for trade, or give me a P for pass. All right, head coach Aaron Glenn was talking about the younger players on the Jets roster as this roster is very, very young. And he was just talking about, why that's not a negative and why that could be a positive for this football team. But this is what Glenn had to say, saying, listen, do we want younger players? Absolutely. It's a young man's game. It's a young man's game, but we want players that can help us win. So if those players happen to be 30 years old, we got those players. It just so happened that we got younger. Well, we got players that could help us win. And if you start looking at kind of these marquee players on the Jets roster, they are very, very young. You got A.Z. Thomas. He's still 20 years old. Braylon Allen, 21. Membu, 21. Then you got Shanu. He's 22. Corley, Breece Hall, Malachi Moore. They're 23. Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, still very young. And then even a guy like Andre Sisco, who they're banking on this season, he's still 25. And that's why I think this year for the Jets is a building year, because whatever those guys do at the age they are, imagine what they're going to do next year with another year of experience, another year under the new Aaron Glenn system, the new Tanner Engstrag system. I just think this team and this young core, don't freak out if this year, if the Jets are 7-10 and, maybe they aren't, close to getting that 7th seed in the AFC. This is about the culture. This is about getting these young guys just more reps under their belts. And then maybe it's year 2, year 3, year 4 under Aaron Glenn, where maybe we start talking potentially them winning the division. But I do want to get you guys some news and notes from OTAs that went down earlier on today. Nick Faria saying, yeah, guys, Arian Smith is getting open on almost every route. Need to put the pads on for him. But New York looks like they got something special here, which is awesome because everybody's freaking out. Do the Jets need to get a wide receiver too? I've been in the camp they don't. You can go by committee with guys like Corley and especially a guy like Arian Smith. But also coming in from Faria, talking about Justin Fields, saying he is doing really well against pressure today. Has some moments where he holds on to the ball a tad long, in my opinion, but he's had a really strong practice with a rusher in his face. And that could be a huge, step for Justin Fields where, if he is much better in these 3rd and 7 and long situations where he's got a dude, right in his face, if he's able to stick in the pocket, deliver a good throw, it's good news there. But then also a little sneak peek of the Jets offense here. First series, Fields had a couple of keepers, including a long run, throws completions to Garrett Wilson, one was short, and Breece Hall having a diving catch. But that part right there, Fields having a couple of keepers. Watch out for the Jets this season. They're going to be a run-first offense, whether that's with Fields manning that unit or just turning around and handing off to Breece Hall and Braylon Allen. They should have a lot more success on the ground than they did last year, where they were 31st in the NFL in rushing. But Samini also saying this, tweeting out what Tanner Engstrad had to say on his offensive philosophy. As Engstrad said, I think we just want to play fast, right? We want to play physical. We want to be aggressive. We want to be explosive. We want to be detailed. We want that to show up on tape each and every week. So that's a little bit on how Tanner Engstrad is kind of approaching this new look Jets offense here. And then also this awesome photo, Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, Jets tweeted this out saying iron sharpens iron. And that's 100% true, man. Those two going against each other every single day at practice, they're just going to make each other better. And I remember even when they were both rookies, I was thinking that to myself, Sauce, Garrett, them going back and forth with each other every single day at practice, that's just going to make them better. It's a tough matchup for each of those players. I'm sure Garrett Wilson, when he sees Sauce across the field, he's like, all right, this is a tough matchup for me. And the same thing for Sauce, how he views Garrett. So then when Sundays, Monday, and Thursday come around, it's hopefully a lot easier out there actually playing the game instead of going against your buddy who is, one of the best in the league at that respective position. But I'll tell you what, I'm fired up for the season. And if you guys are as well, hit me with a me down below in the comments section. I can't wait for it. It's going to be a ton of fun. So if you guys are fired up, give me a me down below in the comments section. We'll see y'all next time. As always, go Jets.